Hey everyone, Brendan Wiltsey here. I am on an exciting mission today. I'm exploring a parcel of land that may be preserved as wilderness in the eastern Adirondacks. So I'm out today just scoping and scouting it. So I'll be working with a conservation partner to share images of this parcel to help them conserve it as wilderness. And just a quick shout out to the folks that support me on Patreon. You're the ones that allow me to do these sorts of things. You're the reason I am here today on this scouting mission. If you don't support me on Patreon or you're not sure what Patreon is, I'll put a link in the description down below. Check it out. It's a way to support creators and creative people, and it's a way for you to help me capture images to advance conservation goals in the Adirondacks. So I've been following an old logging road up to a height of land near the most prominent little peak that exists on this property. And if you look behind me, I need to then bushwhack up this. I'm not sure if there's any trails or anything established up to this peak, but maybe I'll find one, maybe I won't, I don't know. Anyways, about to undertake that bushwhack. Looking forward to seeing what I find on the summit and what kind of views. There are some reasonable views of the mountains to the south just from this road, so hoping we get something nice from the summit. Well, ran into this. You know, when you're bushwhacking and you hit something like this, there's really no right answer on what to do. Don't go up it, especially if you're hiking by yourself. Although I do see a scramble that might work. And it's just a gamble. You stand here and you go, am I gonna go to the right? Or am I gonna go to the left? I don't know. I'm going to the right. I don't know why. I feel like the forest is a little more open over here. Maybe I'm not gonna get beat up as much. A little bit easier walking. So, anyways, beautiful forest. And pro tip on bushwhacking, wear sunglasses if you can. Just helps you avoid getting branches and stuff in your eyeballs, like all of these things that I'm going through. So I can tell there's gonna be great views from up here. So we're gonna keep route finding up this thing. So I just had a pretty incredible encounter. I was coming around the cliff edge. I had Kyber in a hold position. I'm trying to be sort of really quiet up here. I hear something to my left and I look and I see a bear head sticking right up over a down log. And then right behind that, I see two little cubs scooting up a tree trunk. So I put Kyber back in a hold position and grabbed onto him, and we slowly backed up and away from that location. The mom bear She was cool. She just stayed, you know, her ground. We kept eye contact with one another. Her cubs skimmied back down the tree and departed off down the side of the mountain. So, you know, one of the principles of leave no trace is respect wildlife. And if you're gonna have a dog, in particular with you out in the woods, it's really important that you have control over that dog. And Kyber's great. He listens to me really well, so, you know, if I tell him to stay, he's gonna stay. If I tell him to come, he's gonna come. And so, you know, him and I and the bears are all good. All of us are having a good day. No one was too stressed out from that situation. It was a really cool experience. It was really tempting to whip out the camera and try and get some shots of the cubs. And if I was sort of an unethical photographer, I probably could have stayed close to them, kept them in a tree, gotten some photos, you know, but that just would have been stressful for them. So when you see wildlife like that, back off. If your dog can't, if you can't have control over your dog, have them on a leash. So just be respectful of the critters that call these wild places home. So Bear left. We kind of went back to another location, and we're back where we were intending to go before we ran into her and her cubs. They're off down the side of the mountain now. I haven't found that the views from this location are amazing. I haven't really found a great composition, something that I'm definitely gonna capture tonight, but I do have a little bit of time left, and I don't think I'm gonna have a good view towards the sunset itself, so I'm hoping maybe I get some good light in the clouds. And the other thing is just, we're starting to get the light at low enough angle where we get good shadows across the landscape, which add a lot of depth to the landscape itself. It's one of the reasons why you want to shoot later in the day or earlier in the morning. So we're gonna check out a few more locations. There's a few other little overlooks around here. Being super conscious of the fact that there is a mom bear and her cubs in the vicinity, so keeping that in mind. We're not really planning on going too much farther. Just gonna check out a few other spots, and hopefully we'll find an image to capture since we've come all the way up here. All right, so I did find a composition, at least one. I've come all the way up to the summit here. I wanna capture something. There's this nice wetland sort of below this mountain that's really beautiful, and it's got some light. I need to do this quick because the light's really fading on that. And there's a nice pine kind of sticking off the edge of this cliff face. So I'm gonna try and get both of those together. Mountains in the background. I think this time of year the forest isn't leafed out yet. So this may be sort of an image that I come back to in the future, but it's good to sort of think these things through, and I'm here, I'm gonna capture it. Okay, so the light is really starting to fade fast now. I'm not sure that there's gonna be another image for me up here. the main goal of this outing wasn't really to capture a particular photograph. It was sort of to understand the light and the landscape and the compositions of this parcel of land. I'm gonna have a few more scouting trips here before, you know, I'm really gonna start to produce the images that I wanna produce. And that's sort of how the creative process works. Landscape photography isn't about just walking up to a beautiful location, snapping a photo, and boom, you're done. There's a lot of planning that goes into it. Doesn't mean that sometimes you don't walk up to a beautiful spot and get a really nice image, but more often than not, you're coming back time and again, looking for that light, looking for the right clouds, looking for the right sky, trying to line up all of those elements to create those really amazing images. Okay, just as I was heading off the summit area, I hadn't seen or heard anything of the peregrine falcons. It is about an hour before sunset, and both of them came out. I wasn't near the cliff edge or anything, but I saw them fly over, and one of them started doing an alarm call. This sort of cacking noise when they're alarmed. So I immediately sort of backed away from the cliff. I really don't want to bother them at all. Backed away from the cliff, and I'm sort of hunkered down on this ledge. And as soon as I kind of got low and back, they really calmed down. And there's one sitting on top of a tree right now, just sort of keeping guard of what's going on. So I got my long lens on, and I'm gonna try and shoot a few shots of this guy before I leave. So I'm just lying down here, trying to be as quiet as possible. And they're not doing any alarm calls or anything now that, you know, I moved away. So as soon as I heard them do that alarm call, I backed right away. They calmed down, but I still got an opportunity for a great photograph, I think. Okay, I think I got that shot. They are absolutely incredible birds. So I'm gonna sort of army crawl back off this rock, staying away from the edge. Kyber again is back behind me, laying down, being quiet, and we're gonna back off the other side of this mountain and start making our way down. It's really an incredible day. A lot of wildlife seen today, a lot of good images, and this long lens really ended up coming in handy right here at the end of the day. You know, these birds, they're a big part of the story of the conservation success of the Adirondacks and parcels of land like this. So peregrine falcons have really come back in the last several years, and we want to make sure that we're not bothering them, especially while they're nesting. So, all right, back off we go. Made it back to the sort of road, the old logging road I followed most of the way up there. I took a slightly different path down to avoid both the peregrine falcons, which really wasn't a concern. As soon as I was off the sort of cliff summit area, they were, you know, they weren't going to be bothered. But also, I wanted to make sure I went down as opposite of the direction of the mom bear and her cubs as possible. And she left kind of 90 degrees to the way I came up. So I left 180 degrees to the way she left and went down or a sort of ridge on the south side of the summit and then hooked back up with these roads. So I have about 20 minutes until actual sunset. There is starting to get some color in the clouds. So I don't know I don't really know what my plan is at this point. I think I'm just gonna head back to the truck. I'm gonna get down to the bottom of this road. There's a few other locations that are that I wanna check out on this property. A couple ponds. I'm just not sure I'm gonna have time to get over to one of them in time to capture anything. Anyways, we'll see. Just gonna keep making my way down, see what the sky looks like when I get back to the main road that goes into this parcel of land. So I've decided I'm gonna go for it. There's a little pond a few tenths of a mile down an even sort of more established road. I'm literally jogging there right now. I have just a few minutes before sunset, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to have a good image or composition, but I figured what the heck not. So I made it to the pond. It's a really nice little pond. There's actually a campsite up behind me with a really old picnic table on it. I'm kind of exhausted just catching my breath. I've been running all over this property for the last 3 hours. I'm not sure if the sky, I'll just show you around the pond, but so this is the pond itself. I'm not sure whether or not the sky is really gonna sort of pop with any color or cloud to make for a good image here. The sun's setting sort of off behind the mountains in that direction. So I'm not gonna get direct color from the sunset here, but I'm gonna sit here for a minute and enjoy this and decide whether or not I wanna pull the camera out. Well, it's getting really late. I sat on the edge of this pond for, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes, waiting to see if the light would improve. There was a little bit of color starting to streak across the sky on some clouds. Oh, little brown bat. I don't know, this place seems magical. There's just so many cool things I've seen in the little over about 3.5 hours that I've been exploring around this property. Anyways, I'm calling it quits for today, packing it up, heading out. I got about a 3/4 of a mile hike back to the truck. If you like this video, please hit that like button down below. If you'd like to see more videos, please subscribe. Thanks, see you next time.